Hello and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat. Today we're here to talk about Mary Earps and where she should go this summer. Now obviously the England number one, the Manchester United goalkeeper, is out of contract at Old Trafford this summer. So Harry, what is next for Earps? And well, let's first start, why is she leaving United?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting scenario, isn't it? You've got one of the best goalkeepers in the world who is available for free. Absolute steal. She's United, we talk about this all the time. As I said, Mary Earps, world-class goalkeeper. Manchester United, I would not class as a world-class team. Yes, they took the FA Cup this year, which is a step in the right direction. But for Earps, she wants to be fighting for league titles, for European titles. And, United aren't doing that at the moment. So unless United can show her that they are going to start doing that, if you're Earps, you're looking to jump to another and a world-class team.
Yeah, it is worth saying when talking about this that United is still an option. That is still on the table. They are open to her staying. Skinner's already said in the media that he's desperate for her to stay. So I definitely think they will push for her to stay at United. But she's out of contract, so she's free to do whatever she pleases now. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be offers from across Europe. But United, why would she want to leave? Is it because they're not ambitious? Is it that? Because she said in an interview that she wants confirmation over the ambitions of the club. We know that Mary Earps now probably has another, 6 years at the elite level left? She's approaching 30, I want to say. So we'll say 6 years, maybe more. I think that is, she'll want to start winning big titles. With United, she's got one FA Cup and a couple runners-up medals. That's not what you want as a player of Earps' quality. So let's talk about some of the options then. Out of contract does give her a lot of options because she is free, at least for the transfer fee. So let's talk first about Arsenal because they've been linked with her for a while. There's been long-term interest there. However, that has started to cool down over the last 6 months as they have appeared to turn their attention towards options like Daphne Van Domselaar, Aston Villa and others. So could that interest be reignited? Would Arsenal be interested in considering it's a free transfer?
Yeah, 100%. To me, obviously, don't get me wrong, Van Domselaar, I think she's a very, very good goalkeeper and she has what it takes to play at the elite level. But comparing her to Mary Earps, when Mary Earps would also be free, that's a no-brainer for me. Yeah. It's a very strange decision. It would baffle me if Arsenal were to choose Van Domselaar over Earps. You've got, as I said, world-class goalkeeper on a free, and she would be willing to join your football club. You have to take an opportunity of that with both arms. She would start every single game much better than D'Angelo and Zinsberger. And it's what Arsenal have missed. They need someone who at times can keep them in games and can stop them conceding goals. And we know Mary Earps can do that. So for Arsenal, would be absolutely incredible. But, I mean, it looks like they'd rather go get Van Domselaar, which confuses me.
Yeah, obviously, D'Angelo there has departed the club on a free this summer. Do you think that age is a contributing factor, that Van Domselaar is significantly younger than Earps and that her ceiling is probably higher than Mary Earps? Yeah. I also think that Van Domselaar is probably better suited to playing Arsenal's possession-based style. Earps has played in a United team that can play out from the back, and Earps is capable with the ball at her feet. But I'd say Van Domselaar is probably better. And if you can work on that shot stopping, which she's already a very good goalkeeper, Van Domselaar, I think that's worth saying. Given her age, is there just a greater upside there? Slightly lower contract, you would imagine, as well. Does that combine to make a more attractive deal for Arsenal?
Yeah, maybe so. And let's be honest, I don't think the transfer fee would be that much either.
Well, I think they've rumoured that Aston Villa have set an asking price of 200,000, which is steep, but given where I think the market is going, I think if we were to look back at that in 5 years' time, we'd say that's a great deal.
Yeah.
Because I think that's how it's going to explode. So I don't think it's too bad an investment. And when you consider that you might make up the difference there in the contract, because I think Earps will probably demand like double what Van Domselaar does. So over like a 5-year deal, not only will Van Domselaar get better, but that £200,000 fee will be reorganised by the fact it's the wage structure. So I think that Van Domselaar could represent a really good deal for Arsenal. I think Mary Earps would represent a really good deal for Arsenal. The big question mark is whether they want to compete now or in 5 years. Yeah. Because Van Domselaar's a great goalkeeper now, but she'll be a world-class goalkeeper, I think, in 5 years' time. Earps is a world-class goalkeeper now, but they will have to replace her again in a couple of years if they want to have a world-class number one. So that's how they've got to balance it for Arsenal. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Earps at the Emirates this summer, but I could just as easily see them going for Van Domselaar and being happy with that choice. So it's definitely between those two. And given the competition with Mary Earps, they might see that they'd have to give a way too high contract for her to choose Arsenal over the other clubs. Let's talk Barcelona then, because they have had rumoured interest in the past. The only difficulty now is obviously with Catalina Collin there. Is that position filled? Has Earps missed her chance there?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, Barcelona probably would have taken her, but
because they need a replacement for Sandra Panos.
Yeah, you can't bench Cole or Earps. They're the two best goalkeepers in the world right now. Neither of them can sit on the bench for 90 minutes. I think it would have been brilliant for Barca, brilliant for Earps, but Barcelona kind of went and sorted out that problem anyway without bringing in Mary Earps.
Yeah, Catalina Cole has been phenomenal. She's obviously a World Cup winner. She's a Champions League, Liga F winner. She's got everything now that she could ever want at Barcelona. So unless she has a big move to the NWSL or something like that, I don't see Barcelona having any issues there. So it's also worth saying WSL, I don't see any other viable options because anything other than an Arsenal, Chelsea and City would be a sidestep. Yeah. Chelsea have more goalkeepers than they need anyway, and I don't think they would bench Hannah Hampton for Mary Earps. I think then Hampton would leave, and I think the same with City. I don't think they would, they wouldn't buy from a direct rival because United would be, to be fair, she's free, so you never know. But yeah, I don't think they'd replace Kiara Keating because then you lose her. So I think Arsenal's the only realistic option in the WSL, and then obviously there are issues there. The other club who've been much more strongly linked as we get towards this summer is PSG, where obviously they are Champions League semi-finalists from this year. They lost to Lyon in that game, but there are strong upsides with PSG. I think you've got greater chance of domestic success. We don't know what Lyon are going to look like without Bon Pasteur, and I think given the investment from PSG, they could definitely compete with Lyon at some point in the future. So that would be an interesting move. She's a guaranteed starter for me. I think she gets in over Pickout, the current PSG goalkeeper. So is that the most attractive of the three options?
Yeah, I think so. As she said, she wants to... United, she wants to see that ambition. For PSG, she can see that, and she can also see the vision. I look at this PSG side. They need a world-class goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong. I think Pickout's very, very good, but wouldn't put her in that world-class bracket. I think so. That's, again, Earps going to play, as you say. Second of all, it's a very, very good side. And they're a very young side. So they're only going to keep getting better and better year on year on year. There's a lot of potential with PSG. They're very good now. They're going to be even better in the next few years. And as you say, they're going to be up there next season fighting for the Division 1 Feminine. They're going to be up there in the Champions League Final Four once again, or at least around there. And with teams like Lyon and Chelsea being unknowns and Barcelona not even losing Geraldes, there's a chance for PSG to do something really good next season. And for Earps, if she can see that, it would make a very, very good option for her.
Yeah, 100%. I think those are the main three options in Europe. Now, I think there's a big draw to staying in Europe. When you think of the England national team, there's no players who play their football in the NWSL. So that's a big thing there, that England don't have any players that have gone and done that. If Earps goes to America, is there a risk she doesn't start? Is there a risk that if Hampton and Keating were performing in the WSL and NWSL next season, that Earps gets benched? In which case, is that a potential pulling factor away from the US, or is the US still a valuable option? Could she make that work?
I think it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because yes, I do think if she went to the US, her chances would be limited. But I think anyway, if she was to stay in, this is one of the biggest reasons Earps needs a top move. One, because obviously she is a world-class goalkeeper who deserves to win title after title. But two, her England spot is not fully confirmed. You've got Keating...
Well, not even close.
Exactly. You've got Keating and Hampton who are out there winning titles, winning trophies, challenging for titles, who are both younger than her and are proving that they have a higher ceiling and could potentially be better than her in the future, or even now. So for Earps, it's very important that she gets a move, but I think it has to be a big move, as you said. The US, for me, would that be big enough? Fighting for titles? I don't know. Obviously, I think NWSL is brilliant, but is fighting for titles over there, does that carry the same weight and the same pedigree that it would fighting for a WSL or fighting for a UWCL?
I think it's a big debate, isn't it? Because as someone who doesn't watch a whole lot of the NWSL football, it's difficult to say. Obviously, we focus mainly on the European side of the game on this channel, and so that's what I watch the majority of. But I think that given the fact that no England players have gone over there, or at least the ones that have now aren't involved in the squad at all, I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure at the moment. And you think about the players that perform really well in the NWSL, like your Sophia Smiths and Trinity Rodmans, who were phenomenal, had breakout seasons. And then you look at the performance of the US side, who are predominantly in the NWSL at the last World Cup. You look at the performance of the Canada side, who are predominantly in the NWSL. Sorry. You look at the performance of the Brazil team. A lot of them play their football in North or South America. So I do think there's a big question mark there, because the dominance of European sides is showing through at the moment. So I do think there's a huge reason why a lot of English players in particular are choosing to stay in and around the European landscape, and why they're getting picked for the national sides. Clearly, a lot of managers not really rating the NWSL at the moment, but there is a lot of pull there because there is the financial investment, obviously. That's why Geraldes is headed over there. It's not because he loves America. It's because he's going to get paid an awful lot of money to manage the Washington Spirit.
They put a lot of money into the women's game, don't they?
They do,
were the first. Which team? I can't remember which team. Obviously, they built the first female.
The KC Current, the one's owned by Patrick Mahomes, I think, and his wife. No.
I think overall for Earps, she has to leave. It doesn't. Obviously, it does matter where.
I'm not sure.
I think United's not good enough for her.
On a personal note, she'll want to leave. If she wants to keep the England role, I think being at United's fine. I think she would still start at Euro 25. I think regardless of where she goes, World Cup 27, I think will either be Keating or Hampton starting.
Yeah.
Because I think with the way both of them are performing now, which is fairly comparable to Mary Earps, I think in 2 years' time, you could make a strong argument they will only get better, and Earps is only going to decline.
Keating's still a teenager.
Well, exactly that. So I do think there's going to be an interesting discourse there. And I think by the time we rock up at the World Cup in 27, I don't think Mary Earps will be England's starting goalkeeper anyway. So it's very much about Euro 25, I think, for her, and personal success. I don't think Barcelona's a viable option, which sort of leaves you Arsenal or PSG or staying at United. I think PSG's an interesting one. Does she seriously think PSG can win the Champions League within the next 3 years?
Maybe so.
It's the big debate there. Could they actually topple Lyon? Is the big debate there? Because if not, there isn't much difference between going to a United or a PSG. I think Arsenal's the best option for her personally. It's just whether Arsenal still have interest.
Yeah, exactly that.
I guess we'll see.
It's an interesting one. It's hard because I guess that is the one thing with United is it's the safe one. It's the leaving is a risk because you don't like Arsenal. They could challenge the WSL, they really could, but like this year, they could fall away. Maybe she's the missing piece, though. I think
you could make that argument. Yeah, Zinsberger's not.
It's a very difficult decision for Mary Earps to make, and I'm sure it'll be one that she thinks about a lot.
Yeah, I also think the pulling factor as well with Arsenal is, of course, that international side. The fact that you have got so many international teammates there, like Leah Williamson, like Alessia Russo, like Wouba Moy. It's definitely. Exactly. How on earth have I missed that one out? But that's definitely a pulling factor. I think Arsenal makes the most sense. It's just whether Arsenal's still interested because they seem to have turned their attention elsewhere. So that's going to be the big saga, I think, this summer. Yeah. There's so many transfer sagas, but I think Earps might drag on as well. The fact that it's also got on the last 2 windows as well. Starting to drag on now. I'm intrigued to see where she ends up. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if she was still at United. If they do make promises that they're going to invest this summer.
Sat in a year's time going, what's next for Mary Earps?
Exactly, might be deja vu. But I do think if they do invest, they were runners-up in the WSL last season. They have won the FA Cup this season. Yes, the league performance has been abysmal this year. But with investment, United could definitely be in the conversation for the title.
100%.
I'm just not sure whether they're close enough to win it while Earps is still there. I think by the time they are close enough, that investment's going to have to be either so significant or it's going to take time. And either way, I think it's a bit of a gamble for her. So I guess we'll see. Wherever she goes, it's going to be a gamble because you never know what's going to happen in football. She'll go to Arsenal and they could be terrible next season. So it's impossible to say. But if I had to predict, I think she will end up at PSG. It's going to be my controversial shout just because I think Arsenal will go for Van Domselaar. And Earps will go, and then Earps will be looking around the market. In fact, I could even see her staying at United. I think that's arguably the most realistic option, which feels mental, but I think that's the most realistic. What about you? Loose prediction?
I'll go stay at United.
Yeah, I think it is.
Very similarly, Arsenal will stupidly go for Van Domselaar, and I think she'd rather stay in the WSL than go elsewhere.
Yeah, I think that is the big pulling factor. If she wants to be in the England squad for Euro 25, I think she has to be at least in Europe, but I think the WSL would give her the best shot. So yeah, will be interesting to see. Will be very interesting to see. But yes, that is everything from us today. If you want to check out our video from last week, we spoke about Vivian Miedema. That'll be on screen now. We spoke about Bon Pasteur last week, so you can go and find that on our channel now. Whatever floats your boat. But that's everything from us today. Leave a thought in the comments. Where should Earps go? Should she stay at United? Is she stupid for wanting to leave United? The answer's no, but what do you think? That is everything. Though, thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.